I have an overly ambitious TBR. What's new? Salutations! Welcome to Loving the Language of Literacy. My name is Sophia Leigh, and today I'm bringing you my September 2015 TBR. So, it may already be the 7th of September when I'm filming this video, but a good point to be made is that I've already read 4 books. That means I've read more than 1 book every 2 days. I consider that a pretty big accomplishment, especially since I'm probably going to finish another one today. Even though tomorrow is the first day of school, and that means everything in my life will change. Nevertheless, charging into this month with a completely tall TBR, as you can see. These are only the physical books I am going to try to read this month. Exhibit A, Exhibit B. A good point to be made is that this month I have 4 different series that I'm either going to try to catch up with or marathon. While I may not finish the entire series, I'm going to hope to at least start it. So I'm pretty sure with these books I'm showing you, I'm only going to read like the first or second book, and if you expect me to read the entire thing, well then, where have you been all this time on my channel? Because as we all know, I'm not very good at following TBRs. Let's just get this one out of the way because we all know that it was coming, and it's basically on 90% of BookTubes TBR this month, and that is of course Queen of Shadows by Miss Sarah J. Maas. It is an epic high fantasy following a kick-ass assassin. This is the 4th book in the series, and if you haven't already jumped on it, I don't know what you're doing with your life, I don't know where you've been on BookTube, but read it, read it, read it. I actually got this on the 3rd of September. I biked in, don't even ask me how hot it was, probably like 95-degree weather, to my local Barnes & Noble, picked this baby up, paid full retail price, which as you know is basically unheard of for me. I've had this warring debate going on in my head over whether or not I should start this novel because 1, it is almost 700 pages as you can see. 2, I could kill someone with this. I originally had intended to reread the entire series, but with this ambitious TBR, we all know there's no room for that. So I'm going to jump straight into Queen of Shadows, but I also am just trying to brace myself because I've heard that it's probably the best installment in the series, not that I'm surprised. Last year when I read Air of Fire, it took me around a month to read just because of the pacing and what was going on, but I'm hoping, I don't know, I'm basically rambling at this point because I just need to read this, and it is the #1 book on my TBR because it's Queen of Shadows. There's no other explanation needed. If you saw my August 2015 wrap-up, you have a pretty good idea of what these books are. And of course, what else would it be but City of Fallen Angels, City of Lost Souls, and City of Heavenly Fire, all by Miss Cassandra Clare. I marathoned the first half of this series back in August. I'm absolutely obsessed. I don't know what took me so long. Actually, I do, but that's another story altogether. I'm gonna try to finish the whole series, but as we all know, City of Heavenly Fire competes with Queen of Shadows for length, and I just don't know how much time I'm gonna have. If you don't know what this is about, I don't know what to tell you. Shadow hunters fighting demons. It's probably the most well-known urban fantasy young adult series there is. These are getting really heavy. I know that we all joke about book nerds being really weak and everything, but you can really pump iron with these things, even though I'm like using 2 hands. I've owned actually duplicate copies of this entire trilogy for over a year now, and I've always wanted to read it, but then I know that there's so much pre-publication hype going around it, and when I learned that Booksplosion's Book of the Month for I think either October or November was going to be 6 of Crows by Leigh Bardugo, I had absolutely no choice but to add Shadow and Bone, Siege and Storm, Ruin and Rising, all by Leigh Bardugo to my TBR. This is more of an overall fall TBR goal, but if I can get at least one of these books read in September, I'll be pretty happy. I actually am going into this series not knowing much about it, even though I met the author, have signed copies, have duplicate copies. All I know is that this is an epic high fantasy with a lot of world building in a fantasy world similar to Russia, I believe. It follows an orphan girl named Luna Starkov who becomes the protege of a mysterious Darkling, and I've heard so much about the Darkling as a swoon-worthy villain, and he trains her to join the magical elite because he believes she's something called the Sun Summoner and the only person who can destroy the monsters of the fold. Personally, I am just down for any book with a map as detailed and wonderful as this one, so, you know, TBR is added. The last series I'm attempting to read this month is one that I've actually tried to start before and haven't succeeded, but you know, there's no time like the present to try again. I've had plenty of lucks with DNFs that I've picked up again and absolutely loved, and I've got to give this one a chance, especially because the third book is coming out this month. It's been a #1 New York Times bestseller. There's a movie coming out next year, and that is Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom, aka the title that takes all your breath away when you're making a BookTube video. The sequel, Helsinki, is a Book Explosion's Book of the Month in September. The whole series is a creepy, paranormal adventure with these peculiar photographs throughout the entire novel, and I'm just super psyched to read this. I know I've already introduced my babe to you in a previous video, but just gonna show him off again. My new Kindle Paperwhite, I'm absolutely in love. I'm currently reading Challenger Deep by Neal Shusterman on it. I actually started Challenger Deep back in July. I didn't get too far just because it was so confusing, but I actually took a step back, read a few reviews, listened to people's thoughts, and I had to give this another chance because it follows actually a character based off of Neal Shusterman's son who suffers from severe schizophrenia. As a reader, these kind of parallel, without actually being parallel, stories are going on. One following Caden in this journey down the Marianas Trench with this really weird crew on a ship. And then it follows him in real life. He's joined the track team, he has a sibling, and he's trying to figure out what's going on. And as a reader, you're just really befuddled throughout the entire thing, trying to gauge what's reality and what isn't. Obviously, the cover portrays maybe the ship being reality, but that's also maybe maybe symbolism for the depths of his mind. I'm not sure. The chapters are super short. I'm only around 25% through it, and I'm pretty sure it will make my top 15 books 2015. Throughout the entire month of September, I've been reading one physical/ebook and one audiobook, and the audiobook I'm currently listening to is This Shattered World by Amie, Kaufman, and Meagan Spooner. All of my Legend fangirls, you know who you are, Mal, Tina, and Nath. Love the whole Starbound trilogy. I personally was only iffy with these Broken Stars, but I'm giving this Shattered World a different chance, especially since it's more of a companion novel. Even though I'm only on chapter 3 of the audiobook, I'm loving it so far. It follows military captain Jubilee Chase and rebel leader Flynn Rider. The two of them meet, he tries to kidnap her, and of course, chaos, romance, and tons of shenanigans ensue. Then I have 2 arcs that I've been sent over the last few months that I've got to get on, especially since one has already been released, and you know I walked by it the other day in Barnes & Noble in finished copy, and I really should have read it earlier, and that is Another Day by David Levithan, which came out on the 25th of August, so go pick up your copy in stores right now. This is actually the companion novel to Every Day by David Levithan. It tells the same story through the female protagonist perspective of Rhiannon, and I'm kind of skeptical about this, which is why I haven't picked it up earlier, just because I don't really like the whole new adult trend where the same story is retold from 2 different perspectives. I'm sure it's an entirely different story because of just the circumstance involving these two. Every Day revolves around this mysterious person being called A. They actually aren't given a gender, but it seems through the narration more like a male. So I'm just gonna call him he. Wakes up every day in a new body with a different life. But the book opens up to this first day where he meets Rhiannon, and his entire world changes because he's accepted the fact that he wakes up in a different body every day. But when he finds something he actually wants to cling on to, a lot of stuff happens. In August, I read another book by this author, Gloria Bryan's History of the Future by A.S. King. I give it a full 5 out of 5 stars. It's making my top 15 books of 2015. Absolutely loved it. I was so confused, but when you push through the confusion, everything wraps up so nicely. It's completely world-changing and mind-boggling, and this is A.S. King's newest release, which is coming out September 2015, not sure the day exactly, and that is I Crawl Through It. I've talked about this actually in my July TBR, didn't get around to it then, and you really don't want to go into A.S. King novels knowing anything just because they're so twisted and so confusing, and it's basically sensory overload. But the basic premise is that it follows 4 teenagers on the verge of exploding. One of them is enduring just the stress and the pressure of Common Core and standardized testing, hence the ABCDE Scantron cover with I Crawl Through It in red pen. And if you haven't been in school for a while, you may not know this, but red pen is the devil on Scantrons. Oh god, I'm gonna kill myself doing this. Book stacking. Oh my god, I'm panting. Tell me in the comments below what you're planning on reading this month. If we have any of the same ones, probably Queen of Shadows on our TBR, and what your most anticipated release of 2015 is. I actually have a video on that went live a few days ago. Anyways, keep calm, read on, and I'll see you in a video soon. Goodbye! If you enjoyed watching me basically kill myself holding all of these books, give this video a big thumbs up, and if you liked it even more, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, leave me a comment below, follow me on social media at SLLovesBooks, and my previous videos are below me, which you should definitely check out if you want more bookish shenanigans like me trying to hold all these books. I'm gonna die.